You're about to see the world number one get a 25 move chess whooping. With the white pieces in this game, we've got the one and only Fabiano, Caruana playing with black. It's Mongoose Carlsen, and of course the pieces are jumbled up here. Don't worry, we see it too in case you've had a drink. This they're calling Freestyle chess. New series in 2025, touring the globe. Massive drama and scandal all around it, right? FIDE want one thing, the freestyle guys want another, egos galore. It's kicking off on Twitter. Check out Gotham's video, blah blah. Can't be bothered to go into it in this one. We're going to focus on a bit of chess here. Now this is round 2. They're doing a knockout thing. Top 8 players then proceed to some finals of the whole thing, blah blah. Have a look yourself if you want to. Can't be bothered to go into all the boring details, but 2 players of the 10 are going to get knocked out after this knockout bit. It's an invitation only event. No clue where Neiman is or Kramnik. Clearly their invites got lost in the post. I mean, if this is for spectators, that's who we want to see, right? Let's dial up the notch on the drama, but fine, we're sticking with these top 2 guns in the world for this moment. Let's dive in on some chess here. They're over the board in Wiesenhaus, Germany. We see d4 on the board, blasting off like a cannon. Magnus so impressed he copies. This knight now develops into the game, and Magnus prepares to fianchetto. Both players castle already. That's how you do it in chess 960. Quick king safety fist bump, exploded out, great etiquette. Now we see bishop f4, kind of Jabava London thingy, and after this hyper fianchetto by Magnus, he didn't just miss the square, right? I think he intended it. We get g3, the pawn now defended because it was attacked, queen d2, now knight d7, and it's amazing. After Chewbacca's favourite move, the Wookiee one, Magnus is already in a bit of bother here. He's played some natural developing moves, but e4 is this huge threat, and somehow black is really struggling to fight against it. You actually have to play pawn f5 just to clamp. By the way, this horrible looking board, this is the standard that comes with the tournament view when you view it in the live chess games on chess.com. If you hate it, let me know. I'll have to try and do it in the chess.com analysis, but then we don't get back cave like this when you go to a format that didn't happen, or a variation I should say. Anyway, we back up. Please do let me know. What do we see from Magnus? Horrible move. He plays pawn e5. Now he thinks he's about to eat elephant for dinner. Yes, you have to then retreat it, right? But no, Fabi plays the outstanding response. Pawn e4. Now he not only builds a pawn cube in the center, known in the business as a pube.
Every man knows the fear of that close shave just down below the waistline, but with the Lawnmower 5.0, I've managed to checkmate that fear. I've had the privilege to try the new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, and trust me, it's an absolute banger. It's a game changer.
But also, he's stopping Magnus from capturing here, because if you shave the pube like that, white can shave the other corner, open the rook on the queen, and would you look at that? It's actually trapped in the center of the board. It's uh-oh lasagna. What are you going to do? Sacrifice a knight or something? Then you take, sure you escape, but you know, this is absolutely criminal. And you're supporting by the bishop here. Horrible stuff. So what do you do in response? Magnus pushes this pawn here, weirding the game up a bit. Many good moves for Fabi. We'll stick with what he played, which is takes here. Magnus does get to set up the Connect 4, unlocks himself a romantic dinner for 2 with Emil Sutovsky at a restaurant of his choice.
Mushrooms.
What a lucky guy. And after knight d5, centralizing, Magnus takes here, restores the material. You would think all hunky-dory, but Fabi finds this great move. b4 Magnus can kind of get his bits out over here. Bit of a traffic jam going on. We see this cranking up the heat on the pawn chain, and after knight c4, Fabi doesn't Botez gambit, does walk into a self pin, but then again, black's also pinned. You know, this one's not defended, right? So there's some weirdness going on, but it's fine. And Magnus now goes for a radical solution. You know, top move, according to the Stockness monster, is g6, but fine. What Magnus wants to do is make it a bit weird. He knows he's worse, so he plays rook takes on d5, giving an exchange, taking the ladies off. His fans start bleating. They love it when the goat gives the queen in the end game. Now the knight hits this square, so you are winning back in exchange, but after this capture, rook takes back. You can see the problem here, right? White is dominating the only open file on the board and dominating the development of this miserable pony in the corner. So d3 is trying to mix it up. You can simply take, but Fabi goes for this active rook e7, and now of course you're threatening to hit the pawn, and then at some point even go d6, where you'll be converging on the knight. You know, Magnus is just in a world of pain. What do you actually do to fight against this? So he tries the radical pawn g5 there, chucking Gary down the board. But after captures, you've gained some time, but how much is it really worth? Because after takes on b4, takes on a7, your knight's in huge trouble. Never leave that knight in the corner. So now we see it to get out, a pawn push to get it out of there. End the nightmare. d6 is played. It's about to drop off the board, of course, so it hops forward. Now we see d7, one square away, and you know what to do, right? Say you go f6, you can simply just drop back somewhere, hit a knight, let's say it's defended, or you just turn up the heat by taking the pawn, knights entering the game, the bishops are streaming. I mean, it's just so good for white, right? Amazing. So we come back, we didn't see f6, we see knight 2 to a4 immediately. Now knight b3 finishes the development, and Magnus just sacks an entire knight for that pawn. It's so dangerous. You know what, if he captures, well, now you finally can execute on this one. Let's say something like this, and okay, let's take stock of the position. White is an entire rook ahead, right? You know, it's just absolutely game over. So we come back, captures with the knight was played, rook takes back, this one was captured, this one hits the pawn now. Don't worry, the queening square is, whoops, well and truly covered. Looks like I've had a drink. And after rook c8 covering the pawn, we see rook d8 check, and actually resignation here from Magnus. 25 moves in, capitulates, because if you capture, bishop takes back here, queening square still covered, this is going to drop, and basically white is just a minor piece ahead, and with the more active king marching in, it's just absolutely game over. So we come back here, final position, and I just want to show you one more game, right, before we run away from things here. Where is it? Do I have it ready? Yes, I do. So this was round 4. Magnus won round 1, round 3 lost round 2. This is round 4. Vladimir Fedoseev, the guy who qualified through that qualification process, playing with white here. And check this out, Magnus Carlsen, not on his best form. Is the drama possibly affecting him? Who knows, right? This great move was played, bit of a wing gambit styley. Bishop takes. Now Magnus blunders horrendously on move 8 here. You know, he's absolutely fine, say queen b7, something like that. But he castles in that weird chess 960 way. That's a funny looking question mark, or double question mark. But there's a problem here. This rook is undefended. So knight b2, always some of the hardest moves to spot. They say a backwards knight move. You cover the rook, hit the queen, and how would you keep the queen with the rook? You know, you can't. The geometry is not working. So you have to do this. Sack the queen right, go for some play. This is how the game proceeded, but great technique here from Fedoseev. Starts getting some stuff off the board. This rook's a little bit trapped, and so Magnus actually just chops off here. Tries to get in behind, but the queen's covering the squares. Now the pawns start running here. Queen marches in a moment. Pawns avalanche forward, and here we see a resignation. 30 moves in. You know, this is on the way to checkmate. If you take, well, that's obviously awful. Opening up all of this stuff here. So it just shows how the tables can turn in this weird and wacky format. Anyway, Tournament Rumble's on, just covering these couple for today. I'll try and get as many as I can over the weekend. Do subscribe if you enjoyed this, really helps me out. Maybe we'll get to 100k by Christmas, and I hope to see you again soon. Cheers.